Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend D.G. Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/CapesandLunatics. Hope to see you there. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another week. Well, done a lot of weeks in a row here of the DW Know, the Daredevil Podcast. I am Phil. Lilith is here. And again, joining us, our special guest, Mr. Gregory Wright. And today we're going to cover Daredevil Born Again Episode 5. And you will hear Episode 6 tomorrow. But this one, yes, takes place in a bank, so it's called With Interest. I thought they should have named it. I thought they should have called it a lawyer walks into a bank. And with extra special guest, Kamala Khan's father.
Matt's getting a family. I kind of like it.
I know, every 2 seconds. He's an orphan. Aww. Yeah, so was that just, I don't know, so we could get, I don't know, I guess, I think the big thing is that they're just saying, oh, you know, this show is now deeply entrenched in the MCU.
Miss Marvel product placement.
Yeah, I was surprised, you know, when I said, is that Kamala Khan's dad? I thought I was surprised, and then when he pulled out the Funko Pop, that was pretty funny. But it's like, you know, are they going to have her guest star? That seems like a silly person to have guest star. On
Young
there.
West Coast Avengers confirmed.
That, you know, that's what I was thinking. It's like, oh, well, she's on the West. I'm like, is it a Young Avengers, a West Coast Avengers? What does that mean? Anything? The whole thing reminded me of if you remember that Will Smith movie Hancock. And there's a scene in, you know, where he's in the bank and he has to, you know, save everybody. I'm like, oh, is this Hancock? You know, again, where's Daredevil?
At least we got some fight scenes in this episode.
We got a little bit, and I knew he was going to go down and unlock the vault. Mm-hmm. You know, like, what are people thinking? You know, it's because he keeps doing stuff in front of people that you can't just regular humans can't do. And how are they not going? Oh, is there? I mean, I guess they don't realize Daredevil can do all this stuff, but they must be like, you know, like they've got to be thinking there's something just off here. I
mean, it is Marvel's New York, so there's all kinds of people running around. For all they know, he's a Skrull.
Oh God! And there's that trope of, oh hey, magic blind man can do amazing things. Yeah,
is that a trope?
Oh yeah, terrible trope.
Yeah, I didn't say it was a good one, but yeah, it's a trope.
There's a lot of tropes. You know, I never, you know, wrote tropes ever. Never.
He saw the city, Greg. He saw the city.
I know. Back in the penis trenches.
I was surprised to get a bottle episode in a season that only has 9 episodes, I guess. And now I kind of understand why we have 2 episodes, because this was short and it would have felt a little disappointing as it didn't do anything to move the plot forward, really. So I kind of get the decision now.
Yeah, we didn't see any Kingpin. We really didn't see anybody except for Matt from the regular cast.
Yeah, I thought that was strange, you know. But, you know, I find a lot of the shows, you know, they do these, oh, here's just, you know, it's like, because, you know, when we were writing comics, you know, you do, you know, a bunch of, you know, issues that would have something, a big main through, and then you'd have a one that was just like a one-off thing. But, you know, on here, I'm kind of wanting it to progress. You know, I mean, I'm thinking about, you know, when they originally did the Clone Wars animated series, and there would be a bunch of episodes that were really advancing the whole story, and there'd be several of them that just was like a one-off for no reason. And it wasn't that it was a bad episode; they weren't bad episodes, but I wanted the main plot to go through. I didn't want to see this sort of one-off, and that's kind of how I felt here. You know, I'm hoping that, you know, I didn't watch the next episode yet, obviously, but, you know, I don't want to think, you know, they could have plucked this out and you wouldn't care. because it didn't feel like it was like, oh, it's really making him want to be Daredevil again. It just, was, oh, look what a nice guy Matt Murdock is,
Yeah. They tease us with the red mask, and I'm like, okay. You can
he's carrying it around. Was, he took the guy.
The robbers.
Yeah, he took it, yeah.
Which I'm like, I wish he would have hit that guy from behind and knocked him out instantly, because shouldn't they?
Like, I see the suit, buddy. I see the
shoes.
I
saw what you were wearing. Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to do a bottle episode, why didn't, maybe they could have done an episode of him, going over it back and forth. Should I be Daredevil? And, something like that.
Yeah, I thought
it's also a classic bank robbery, which is very classic of a superhero show, comic book thing.
Yeah, it was an okay episode. It was but it could have been an episode of Law and Order or any cop show, and it just could have been just not a great episode.
Or more time with the Punisher or something.
Well, especially since we dropped the bombshell about who Muse is. Like, we saw his face, so it's just like, okay, you're kind of leaving us dangling on that one too.
Well, I thought we'd see more. I thought that we would get some of that in there. And I don't well, who is the woman that they wound up giving the candy to? It was like, yeah, she didn't walk out with it. Matt switched that.
Yeah, I guess she was with them. It's just like a plan to get that ring out of there.
Yeah. Oh, it did get confirmed that McDuffie was absolutely named after my friend Dwayne McDuffie.
Oh, nice.
Mark Waid confirmed that somewhere.
Oh, cool.
So that was.
I love how Mark Waid just goes around confirming stuff. It's so great.
Well, he either wrote stuff or he's in touch with a lot of the people. I mean, he may have created that character.
Well, he broke the crypto news on one of our shows, so it's just kind of a
the Superman movie.
Yeah. Well, Mark knows a lot of. He's very well connected to a lot of stuff. And he did write. He's written a lot of really great stuff. So he's still. I think when the first thing I noticed was when he and Ron Garney did they did Captain America right before they gave it away to Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld. Mm-hmm. And the thing was, it was fantastic. The only thing is nobody was buying it. And that still kind of baffled me. They Marvel could not get the sales, no matter how good it was, up. As soon as Jim and Rob took over, everything sold like crazy. And it's just weird trying to figure out why readers aren't reading. Because that was a really good title at that moment. Because that's what Marvel said. Give us another chance where we can make this book great. They did make it great, and it did not sell. Don't understand that.
I know. I think that was probably the best Avengers book out at that time. Is that their Captain America run, which thankfully they gave it back to them after Heroes Reborn. So
yeah. But Ron's of course gone on to that Berserker thing. It's making a ton of money, so I'm happy to say. One of Ron's first jobs at Marvel actually was a Daredevil annual that he did with me. So Ron was one of those guys who was really, really good, literally right away. His first job, that was one of his first jobs, and he just did such a fantastic job. So he is the one I really like to. I credit him more as the co-creator of Crippler, because I had featured Crippler in that. That's the story. Mm-hmm. Which Geis, because he drew him standing there with a haircut, got the credit for being the co-creator with me, but Ron really created that. So, see, we're circling back to more Daredevil.
Yes, yeah. Heck, we need a Daredevil. We need you and Dan working on a Daredevil run together.
We did. He did that Batman Daredevil, and I did color that.
Yes. We need more.
So, it's funny. Somebody said, "Wow, this is the worst possible team you could have picked for this." Thanks, guys. We really tried to make the shittiest comic, ever for you. Like,
God.
Like what? It's like, well, they should have got Miller. They would have liked to have had Frank Miller do something like that, but just because you want somebody doesn't mean you get them. But I thought it was great. I enjoyed working on that. I thought Scott McDaniel, loved his work. Dan did a great job with both characters.
That was great.
It's funny when you read stuff. Online people are like, I don't like. Oh well, okay, fair enough. Then they want to like really insult you. Like, really? That's what you want to do?
The internet.
Yeah, it's a funny place. I don't mind, criticism is cool. Well, not cool, but yeah. But, back it up.
Yeah.
You suck. I don't care about that. Okay, why do I suck? Explain that to me. You can't,
Mm-hmm.
not interested.
Well, again, it's like, Frank Miller wasn't the only person to write Daredevil, over the years, or Batman.
No, he just did one of the better runs.
Don't tell that to the nerds, though.
I know.
He did a great run though, but I loved Ann Necente's run, because it was so different.
Mm-hmm.
And I love Dan's run, that I thought his run was really good. I don't know if I read anybody else's run after that. I hated Kevin Smith's.
Yeah, he killed Karen.
I thought, I was like, do you not know how to write a comic book? It was, it was like they did a lot of that sort of stunt casting for writers. And it's not that he was a bad writer. It's just, he's not a comic book writer.
Yeah.
It's like, apparently they had a lot of trouble, when is it Ta-Nehisi Coates? Is that how you pronounce his name?
Ta-Nehisi Coates? Yeah.
Is that how it is? Wow. Totally. Yeah. Doesn't mean to mangle his name.
I just heard it. That's the other reason I know it. I've heard it said before.
Really great, stuff he did prior to comics, but I guess he had trouble writing an actual comic. He caught on, he wound up writing some Captain America.
Yeah.
But it's writing comics is very different from writing other stuff.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Yeah, it's like its own animal. It's not like writing for movies or TV or anything. Or even like novels. It's like its own thing, right?
Well, as a writer, you write a story for comics, but you're not really the sole author because you're writing a story. You're coming up with a story, but the artist is telling the story. Mm-hmm. No matter how much of a full script I may have written to tell them what I want, they're going to do different things. So they are really like a co-author of the story to various degrees. And in some cases, their work is way more important than what we did, because I've written a lame story and then the artist made it really good. And I had to, do a lot better job writing my dialogue because, it wasn't such a good story. And then they made it at least look like a great story. But that's one of those things. So it's very weird because, yes, I thought the story, yes, I wrote the story, but the artist is telling the story. So it is more of a co-authory thing. Unlike, when you write a novel, you're it, you've got no help. You have to describe everything so that the, reader can see it.
Mm-hmm. Lilith, I see why Greg and Dan are friends now. They're both just like, I didn't do that good on that story. No.
A little self-deprecating.
Well, if you get it yourself first, nobody else dares.
Write that down.
Okay, yeah, we suck.
It's true. Because people are like, well, I want to tell me sucks. Wait, he's already said it. Now what am I going to do? Nothing. I've already I've gotten myself worse than you can get me.
Then I guess this episode was kind of like a holiday episode because it was set on
St. Patty's Day episode.
St. Patrick's Day, yeah. It's like, it's too bad it didn't come out on St. Patrick's Day. That would have been fun.
Oh yeah, or at least that week. Yeah, only off by a week.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else that's that I was like.
Was that gang supposed to be somebody? Because if it went over my head if it
Not
was
that
with
I
all
know.
the colorful masks and stuff. It just kind of
I
was trying
didn't
to
pick up
think.
anything. I'm like, who is the woman? Is she connected to somebody? Who's the boss? They hired them. We don't really get a sense of that.
Is it Vanessa? She's like, I want my diamond back.
I was going to say, was that like Kingpin's ring or something, or is that like the head of the families wears that ring or something? So
right, is this diamond? I'd really like to know.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it might have been his ring as like the head, and then that's Vanessa's like come back. So either her or someone else is trying to steal that ring to become the new head of the families or whatever. I don't know.
We'll find out when we watch.
Maybe it's just another disrespectful move. I don't know, because like the families are kind of out of control, trying to figure out who's gonna rule the city in his absence.
If nothing else, it belongs to somebody. So,
well, hopefully,
yeah.
Sometimes
it's not just a MacGuffin. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, sometimes it doesn't mean anything, and then people will pick up on it, later. What's funny is when Dwayne and I did Deathlock originally, we put all kinds of little stuff in the first couple issues of the miniseries, and all of that was set up so that we could use it later. And people were like, somebody asked, she says, well, did you guys plan that? I'm like, yeah, we did,
No, it just randomly happens.
It wasn't, but when I was writing Silver Sable, I went back and read all this stuff, and there was little things dropped here or there. And I grabbed it and said, well, let me explore that. And somebody said, did Peter David set that up for you? And I'm like, no, he wrote his story, and I just picked up on what he did and did my own thing. But that's kind of fun when you can find these little things to pick out of something and bring it up. It's like I kind of like when they do that in all the Star Wars stuff, where there's so much stuff that's been in various things that you can just pluck things all over the place and do something fun with it.
Oh yeah, that's great when comic book writers can go back and like use stuff other people have written in the past, and I love the continuity.
You would have liked Mark Grunwald. He loved continuity.
Oh, he was one of my favorite writers. I wish I'd had a chance to speak to him.
He was, he would love the whole podcast thing. He probably would have had his own, but he was, he was. It kills me all this stuff that he would have loved to have seen. Marvel in the movies. I think he would have really liked what they did with Captain America, with Chris Evans playing that. I think he would have been very happy with all of that stuff. Not so sure what he would have thought of, the whole Captain America being in Hydra. that he might not have liked so much.
No.
He would have liked the Falcon as Cap thing too. He would have.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen what he thought of in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The way they portrayed John Walker in that.
Oh yeah.
Because John Walker wasn't really intended to stick around very long. He was just wanted to experiment with because everybody was all into the Punisher stuff. So he said, well, what if we got a Punisher-like guy to be Captain America? And he figured people wouldn't like it. And they really enjoyed, that version. So that storyline went on longer because the readers responded so well to it.
Yeah.
Partially probably because Kieran Dwyer's work on that was just fantastic. Oh
yeah. I mean, Mark could write pretty much anything. And again, it was a good story just to show, why Steve Rogers was Captain America and not,
It was a lot of fun. It was fun trying to figure out how to create the captain's uniform that wound up being U.S. agents.
I love that suit.
There was a lot of fun versions of that before that one got settled on.
Oh, really?
Well, I drew some versions, and Mark drew some versions, and Kieran drew several versions. I think that was definitely Kieran's version. But every time we would change, costumes, we would all draw various versions of what things could look like. Nobody ever drew a Wonder Man costume that wasn't absolutely horrible. And Iron Man armor. The amount. I wish we had all the sketches that when we did the Armor Wars and we were changing the armor, and Mark Bright just made so many different variations, and it was fun. And now it's like, well, of course, why wouldn't he have a whole bunch of different armors?
Yeah, they change them every Tuesday.
It's like, why didn't we just do that? That would have been so much fun because we got so stuck on Iron Man. It's like this year, the characters can't change this. Up until I think. When Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee started working on the X books, they started changing around the costumes. Why would you wear the same costume over and over? Why wouldn't you, decide, well, today I think I'd like to wear 50 pouches. I don't know what they never showed what they were for. Batman's pouches had stuff in them. I never really saw any their characters actually use.
Probably carrying all that ammunition for those huge guns they carried in the 90s.
Well, but what was Cyclops doing with pouches?
He was holding Jean Grey's makeup. As he should.
There we go.
See, that's funny. I was going to say lens cleaner.
Well, yeah,
nice.
Maybe, I don't know. Is extra glasses in there somewhere? What if they get pulled? People keep to pull his glasses off. Why doesn't it go right through his eyelids? I used to wonder that.
Well, I guess it didn't affect him because it was a weird thing where him and his brother, their powers didn't affect each other. So
I don't know.
It's a genetic.
And we're off the Daredevil track. It's these episodes need to have more in there because we get off of the Daredevil thing so easily.
I know. Well, hopefully they're teasing us with this whole, we really haven't seen him in costume. Maybe maybe the cliffhanger for this season will be, he'll like step out in the black armor or something.
Yeah, well, because there's
and they better shout out Dan on that. What?
There's 9 episodes.
This was 5. So
this was 5. So I mean, I kind of figured maybe by this episode he'd be Daredevil again.
Beating up Kingpin, yeah.
How great would that have been? The cops run in, the bank robbers are all taken out, and there he's standing there in his suit. How about that for the reveal?
That would have been cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess we'll see what it's like in this Muse guy. It's like I thought we were seeing more of Bullseye. In the
he's got to have a breakout, I guess, of the prison. So.
And I hope we get more Punisher. I hope that wasn't the only Punisher we get this whole season.
No, I mean that was a great scene with the Punisher.
It was a great scene, but it wasn't long enough.
Yeah, well, apparently Bernathal's. I read the original version that he was like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, he didn't like it.
And then when they rethought it, then he came on. It's like, wow, that's interesting because he's so perfect. In it, but he's good in everything. I don't think there's anything I've ever seen him in where I wasn't like, wow, I really like this guy.
Oh yeah, Walking Dead, yeah.
And he's great in The Bear. If you've watched The Bear, but it's funny because he's so much better looking in other shows. they really amp up, his thug-like look. But in other shows, it's like, oh, he's much more handsome than he gets portrayed.
But I do like that, he's like passionate about the character where he was willing to walk away from a payday because he was like, no, this is what Frank would say or do or whatever.
I do think that a lot of the actors that will wind up in the MCU stuff, they take it very seriously. They take their character very seriously, and they want it to be good. And I think when you look at how bad some other movies have been, they can be done well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think of, Ryan Reynolds just deciding he's going to do Deadpool right after having to do it wrong, that Wolverine movie. And when I saw the movie, I'm like, wow, this is right. This is the way this should be.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people
now he's going to do it until he's 90.
Old pool,
But I'm glad they gave Charlie Cox an excuse to use like his own accent.
The girls are melting over that right now on Reddit, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are they?
Oh yeah, they love his accent. They're like, now that's what I'm
but he was using an Irish accent. He wasn't using isn't he British? Or is
Any accent will do. Any accent will do for the ladies.
I thought he was Irish, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But
Dan said he met him. He said he was super nice.
Oh yeah, because
him and no.
Yeah, because he said there was a panel with some Con and him and Ann and John Romita Jr. got to meet him and yeah.
He also met Vincent D'Onofrio.
Yeah,
and he said he was really shy going up to meet him because D'Onofrio's done so many things that are really great. And apparently he was just really nice and happy that people liked his work and. So he's not very threatening looking.
D'Onofrio actually
he played Thor.
Yeah, he is English. You were right. Yeah, I think maybe because what was it, Boardwalk Empire? Didn't he have like a Irish accent or something? Probably fully.
Did you know Vincent D'Onofrio played Thor?
Yes, Adventures in Babysitting, right?
Adventures in Babysitting. A very young, very more thin and just buff. Vincent D'Onofrio, which is funny because you see him the way he looks now, and depending on how they dress him up, he looks so different.
My favorite version is Men in Black.
Oh yeah.
Hashtag we don't judge, we listen.
What a crazy performance that was. He must have had fun with that.
Oh yeah. You're sure chewing up the scenery. Yeah, this is like a giant bug alien and
he's completely you would never know that's him.
That's the way he likes it. I heard he likes to really get into a character and just like kind of disappear. So
Well, that would be the fun. That's like I love writing characters that are way different than me. It's just so much more fun to like climb inside, especially the bad guy.
Oh yeah, I as a kid I used to think, oh, it's probably so great to play the hero. No, it's probably great to play the villain. You really get to let loose through the scenery. Yeah,
Superman. I mean, wow, the most boring character ever.
Oh, jeez.
You can't kill him.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can't do. He's like the best looking guy ever.
It's why they gave him the red kryptonite. Let's be real.
Yeah, Batman can die. Superman not so much.
Not modern day Batman.
It depends. Sometimes they write them too, capable, but.
Although, did you see the State Farm commercials with that?
Yeah,
those were awesome.
Some of those were better than some of those movies. I'm like, yeah.
It was funny, but I was like, wow, that's a really good. The Joker, that's the most comic book accurate Joker, I think.
Yeah, Poison Ivy. Yeah.
But that was fun. I thought, so I actually go on the internet to search so I could see the whole thing.
Yeah,
because I kept seeing bits, but I kept missing the one with the Joker.
I know. I was curious. Cool. I'm seeing those commercials. I'm like, wait a minute, is there a Batman movie or something coming out? I'm like, that just seems so random. They're doing Batman, State Farm commercials.
No, and then there's another commercial there. They did it from yet another movie or something. I can't remember what it was.
Corporate synergy? Do I smell a merger?
I don't know. I found that fun. And at least I did know it was for State Farm. Because sometimes you see these commercials and you go, that was a fun commercial. And then you go, what the hell are they advertising?
Usually it's crypto if that's the case. So I did notice that cop from season 1 of Jessica Jones, and I remember that like there was buzz that Kristen would show up, but I don't have any hope for that now. So
from which cop?
Angie Kim.
Oh, she was from. And Jessica
she was also
Jones?
in the pilot. Well, the first episode of the season in the bar. 2 in the background, if I remember right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's in the bar, yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I was
like, all the cops we could have, we have her. Interesting.
Yeah. I love the Jessica Jones series. I thought that was really good. That and the Luke Cage was really good.
Oh, yeah, I'd love to see any of them, but I don't think it's happening this season. I mean, we've got 5 minutes of Punisher so far, so I don't think we're...
That's being generous, but...
Yeah. So
but we got like 2 minutes of Daredevil, so it's evening out, I guess. Okay, I'm telling my joke. I think the reason why it's called Born Again is because Matt Groening hasn't put on the suit in so long.
Oh, she's been sitting on that joke
because
for a week.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, hopefully I should be. Hopefully she's polishing it up. She's been sitting on it for a while.
Working on it, workshopping.
Maybe Madonna will sing like a virgin as well while it's.
Oh my lord! I mean, we got 2 fight scenes, kind of.
Those quarter scenes kind of annoy me. I want the wide shot. I want them jumping from rooftop to rooftop. I just want classic Daredevil rooftop fights. Is that too much to ask for?
All you people complain about CGI. Now we're getting nothing on the rooftops.
Well, that's the thing. They wind up doing all this, but I want to see him running on a wire. When I think of some of the Frank Miller stuff that and then one of my favorite. I don't know how he managed to draw this, but he had a fight with Daredevil on the Coney Island cyclone.
Yeah.
And so he had to draw he was drawing the cyclone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very familiar with Coney Island and the cyclone. I used to live in Brooklyn. I used to go there all the time. I remember looking at him going, wow, Frank Miller, he went and he took a lot of pictures of this cyclone because, that's what he did. He drew what he saw when he was, he was living in New York. So that's why it looks so New York, is he would go to the roof and he would draw the roofs.
Yeah, because that was like 80s, wasn't it? That was like pre-internet. So it's not like you just look at pictures on Google. Yeah.
Well, that's what we used to do when we were in New York. We would go around and we would take reference pictures of stuff, places in New York. And we would, I know Dan did and I did. We would send it to the artists that we were working with, so they would have, so they would know what does this look like, And there was a documentary on Robert Crumb, and he would do that. He used to take a lot of pictures of stuff, and he was obsessed with like ugly things, like power lines and telephone poles. And he goes, "You're not going to find this reference anywhere." He said, but, when you draw that stuff into your city scenes, it looks really like this city. It just adds this stuff because people don't want to draw it. But because I don't remember what this looks like. And he was right, so he had all, he was showing all this reference of just like ugly stuff in the city that would become just stuff he would, utilize. And it does. It makes a big difference, because, I can't stand it when you look at an issue of Daredevil that somebody that didn't care drew, and it looks like a bunch of cereal box buildings.
Just like a random city, yeah.
It's like, no, that doesn't look. New York doesn't look like that. Maybe Toronto does, but New York is more interesting, and it does have a lot of water towers and weird stuff on the.
Oh yeah, buildings. It's not Gotham; it's New York City.
Potato, depending on who you ask.
Oh,
well, see, I always thought Gotham was Chicago. I thought Metropolis was kind of New York, and Gotham was Chicago. And in Marvel,
everybody knows. Metropolis is in Delaware. Okay,
it is.
Nah, depending on who you ask. But originally, that was like one of the original like maps that you saw was they put it in Delaware.
Oh God,
where in Delaware?
I don't know. Who knows what Delaware? All I know is that's a good place to open a business. Don't ask me about Delaware.
Because at a certain point, like at least in the 80s, like DC, didn't they have like Gotham, Metropolis, and New York City? So it's like,
well, they had a lot of they were one of the things DC would create all these cities, so they weren't real, so you could do whatever you wanted with them.
Yeah,
which is kind of fun. But then like you can't put the Empire State Building in Star City. That's if you like the Empire State Building, but I don't know. I mean, it depends on who's drawing it, I guess. Because some people, there are some artists love to design stuff, and some can't design anything. They can only draw stuff that they're seeing, and that's not a real criticism. But everybody's got their set of skills. Not everybody knows can draw a horse, or dog or a couch. You have to know how. John Buscema loved to draw horses. That's why Conan. Guys, horses. He loved all that sword and sorcery, and he loved drawing. Landscapes. He did some beautiful Western stuff as well. But there's some people that they can't draw to save their life. You could give them hundreds of pictures, and they just can't. They don't get it, and it's okay. Some people can't draw technology. Kirby did. Kirby never had to look up a reference. He just drew crap out of his mind. Go ahead, try to think up that stuff. As fast as he did.
Just put some Kirby Crackle on it.
Love Kirby Crackle.
Oh yeah.
I have a couple Photoshop brushes that are just Kirby Crackle.
But yeah, it's so weird because this is one of the shortest. This might be the shortest episode of the season. It was only like 39 minutes, but we got 2 fight scenes. I mean, we already had some episodes where we had no fight scenes at all. So it's very weird.
Yeah, I don't quite get it. I mean, I like all the Matt Murdock-y stuff, but I feel
it's time for Daredevil.
Where's the Daredevil stuff? Where's the Muse stuff? Where's more Kingpin stuff?
I wonder if this is more like, when this is originally going to be, it was going to be 1 18 episode season, and then they cut it in half to do a season 1 and 2. If this was, originally this was going to be 18. So, if you're going to.
It can't be possibly to save the budget because we had all those extras. So usually a bottle episode is like a already built location, usually with just like 1 or 2 or 3 like cast members. So I don't know. I really don't. Do they have an after show podcast for this or no, Phil?
I haven't heard anything. This right here.
Explain themselves. I need to know what's going on.
Yeah, because sometimes they do. I always like watching that stuff. It's fun to hear. It's like if you're watching Severance, sometimes I have to watch like what did I just see?
Every episode of Severance, that show's disturbing in a good way.
I love that show. I mean, it really makes me think. And I that's what I like. I like any show that makes me really think. This show made me think, am I watching Hancock? Now I kind of want to go watch Hancock again.
I've been dying. Like me and my friends are like little running joke. It's like, who's going to write Hancock 20-year chip? Who's going to do it? Who's going to get it made? It's time for a sequel to Hancock for sure.
It would be fun. It would be fun. I thought Hancock was a fun movie.
The franchise, one of those franchises that never was, unfortunately.
I enjoyed that quite a bit. I don't know why it didn't do as well as.
Well, it was in developmental hell, and if you ever know the actual original ending of the movie, you kind of understand. So yeah.
What was the original ending?
he basically takes a family hostage, specifically the wife. Like, Charlize Theron was just a normal person and he got obsessed with her, and like it turns out he's stuck in this never-ending time loop because he transfers his powers into the son of the family, and all of this he's just trying to save his mom. It's kind of weird, kind of twisted, but I kind of liked it better. Kind of that twist makes a little more sense than the actual twist that happens, to me anyway.
It's darker.
Yeah, because Hancock was like kind of like dark Superman, like kind of Brightburn before Brightburn, I guess. To me.
But yeah, I was looking it up. There's no official Daredevil Born Again podcast, but you know,
interesting.
Unless you count this one,
which I do. Yeah, I'd love to get some writers' room insight. Like, that's all. Like, I like sometimes it helps me to like understand like the choices. Like, was it budget? Like, you could blame it on the suits. It's okay.
Well, the problem is when you have a writer's room, you got too many cooks in the kitchen.
Well,
you know, some of the better shows
very streamlined on this one.
You know, White Lotus. Mike White writes it all. You know, Ben Stiller seems to be writing a lot of Severance, and it's, so it just makes more sense and stuff. But when you get the writers room, you get too many people. Well, that's too dark. Oh, that's not too funny. Every time we had to do, we would have these get-togethers with all the writers, and when we were trying to come up with a crossover that didn't suck, and it just was too many different ideas flowing around the room and trying to make sure everybody's happy, and there's always be some pill in the room. I don't like that idea. Oh my gosh.
That's right. Keep it to 3. For love nor money. Dan Chichester.
We actually, I mean, that we didn't fight about it at all.
No,
we just kind of did it, and
just three buddies creating a story. Chichester walks in and says, "Penis idol, let's go."
I know. I don't know. We just sort of followed along. I mean, we were all, it was nice. We just sort of had fun.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving Riker on Risa, but okay.
Oh God!
Sorry, Star Trek nerd came out.
When Dan and I were we were visiting out in LA, and we went to a friend of his worked on Star Trek: The Next Generation. They told us we could pitch episodes if we wanted, but we were in this room and it had this board, and it was the "Don't even fucking think of pitching these ideas" board. And it was this huge, long list of stuff, that people have pitched this idea 300 times. And I'm looking at the board and I'm reading it and I'm going, I said, no, I'm going to be mocked mercilessly if I pitch anything. But it was serious. If we had an idea, we could pitch. But you realize they've been pitched so many thousands of ideas for episodes, and so many of them were the same. Endless, Data gets a girlfriend and
time travel or time,
but it was really intimidating to see that, and be sitting there and then getting to go on the Enterprise, and they turned the lights on for us, and we found that a lot of the labels on things were misspelled, which I thought was hilarious. Well, yeah, it was pretty intimidating to see what, this, here's how you could pitch, and it's like, oh, that's pretty scary. It's like, and people would come in and they would pitch and they were like, nope. But that's kind of neat that, we could have, but, it's like, I had no ideas to start with, but when I saw the board, I went, wow, I wish I would have had a board like that at Marvel. Don't pitch these ideas to me. We've already heard it. It's already been done, but,
It couldn't have been worse than what they got out of the first season.
Oh,
I can say that as a fan. We all know season 1 was rough. It was reused stuff from the original. We know.
It did take them a couple of seasons to sort of find themselves.
Hopefully this show, I feel like the show's found itself. I think it just doesn't know when to pull the trigger. I think we just kind of have a timing issue.
That joke would have worked better last. That joke would have worked better last week.
Better late than never, Phil.
Yeah, pull the trigger on putting him in that suit already. Again,
I don't feel like there's anything making him want to put the suit back on yet.
Maybe if he had been conflicted about it, and then it's like, oh, the only way to save the hostages is to put the suit back on, and then then you get like news crews in there, get him video of him in the suit, and then Kingpin sees it and is like, oh, now it's
like, wait, Foggy's alive, Matt. You must be Daredevil to save him.
Foggy's in witness protection.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
I didn't want to give you an excuse.
He seemed happy not being Daredevil.
I mean, for a little bit he did, but we knew that was never going to last. I mean, still sad, but he's always going to be a sad boy. You know, that's just who Matt is at his core. He's a sad boy.
Guilty Catholic, yeah.
Well, they don't really show him being very Catholic. You know, that's something.
I know. That's the thing. He doesn't go to. We haven't seen him gone to church in this one. You know, we don't see his mother or that the priest he was talking to. Nothing.
Wasn't it? I thought it interesting.
I think because they decided to call it Born Again, we were expecting that they were going to be utilizing more stuff from the actual Born Again, comic that Frank did.
But it's kind of hard because they did half of it in season 3 of Daredevil, so it's like, what was left?
Yeah, so it's really not. And then I've seen they show pictures of Deborah Ann Wall with Charlie Cox for next season, and she's wearing some ridiculous red wig.
Oh wow!
I'm like, what?
Well, they said
she working on something. She might have had not been able to. She might have had a different hair thing for a show she's working on. Sometimes
I have no idea. But.
Well, I know they said the actor who plays Foggy is going to be back for season 2, but everyone's like, that might just be flashbacks and stuff.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
Unless, Foggy's got a secret brother or
twin brother. Oh, yeah, here we go.
But I was like, finally, Foggy's got a decent look, because I'm sorry, but, the Elden Hansen with the long hair did not work. It was like, who's going to take you seriously? You're not, no. A lawyer looks like you coming. I'm not hiring you.
Luckily, Matt didn't see him, or else they never would have worked with him.
I think you could tell. You could hear the hair switching.
Oh yeah, you could hear the hair switch.
It's like because I wanted to see a little more. How is he following that the Irish guy who was dressed as a cop? It's like okay, they're going to show more of how he's able to follow him. He can smell him. That would have been funny to see him.
Yeah, that or he's tracking him by his heartbeat or something. Yeah.
But I wanted to see that. I'd like to see like a heartbeat graphic or something.
Oh yeah.
To see how because I just want more of that because like okay, they're doing a pretty good job with the hearing.
See, kid, that's a comic book man right there. Man, he's like, I want to see the heartbeat.
Well, I always love that when artists would put stuff like that in, and that would happen in Daredevil, and Chaykin uses a lot of that sort of graphic stuff with Ken Bruzenak to give you a little more. I like that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's like Daredevil 300 when Dan had Daredevil chasing Kingpin through like the Port Authority, and he's like describing the smells and stuff. I'm like, wow, is he gonna do it?
Yeah, he went.
We're going to Jersey, kids. We might be getting.
Dan went and photographed that whole chase for Lee to draw.
Oh,
so he went to Port Authority and took all the pictures.
Oh yeah.
I wonder if he still has those pictures.
I don't know. The big. I was gonna say if they were physical media, because he had a big hard drive crash around the turn of the century. So.
But I think he may have taken it with a regular camera.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's funny because I had. Actually had a Disney trip I went on, and I don't know what happened. I lost all of my pictures from the Disney trip, and it killed me. I'm like, oh no! No idea why, because it never made it to my computer. They got erased off of one of the back when you had when you had digital cameras. That not everything's on your phone now, so I don't carry my digital camera, but my digital camera is actually not as high a resolution as my phone, which I thought was bizarre. It's like I thought this was higher resolution.
I think they improve those phone cameras quicker than they do like an actual camera.
Well, because everybody's got
style, baby.
I mean, some of the stuff you can get with your phone is really pretty amazing.
Oh yeah.
But I miss. I used to develop my own pictures in a dark room, and I miss a lot of that. But I mostly take pictures with my phone. I rarely bring out any camera. I swore I would never do that, but whoops.
Convenience will be
the
end of us
a lot of it's convenience. It's like I use my phone for a lot more than I want because it's there.
Yeah.
Kids today will never know the pain of having to take your car keys, your wallet, your camera, your MP3, and your phone. Now it's all in one.
Oh, I thought you were going to say taking that disposable camera to the drugstore to get your pictures developed.
Yep. Ooh, I used to carry like 2 bags of camera equipment everywhere I went because I had my video camera and I had all the stuff for that. And then I had my regular camera with all the stuff for that. And you had to have flashes, and I had, like shotgun microphones and a mini tripod and, just an endless amount of, stuff. And now I have I have a selfie stick that, also works as a tripod that I can just pop my camera on. And, I don't know. It just, I miss having to, I really don't miss having to carry all the gear, but it was fun to have all this stuff to play with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, not everyone did it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I wish we had more stuff to play with in this episode, I guess. I did truly love Kamala Khan's dad, though, but, like, so random. I'm like, yeah, I want Matt to have a family. He needs a little bit more of a robust side character gallery. So, like, anything at this point, I'm going to take it.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is he going to actually, are we going to see him go to dinner?
We're going to see that family dinner.
I hope
we
so.
better see that.
And will Kamala be there? Will she fan geek all over, Matt? Will she know? Does he know? Well, maybe she doesn't know who Daredevil is.
He certainly didn't know who she was.
Was he doing that, or was he faking out? Just be like, oh, I don't know, superheroes.
Well, like she stayed in Jersey City, right? That was the shtick of that show. So it's New Jersey versus New York. That whole thing too. So
yeah, but in that series, I mean, she was on TV for like 1 second. So
what was he going to see her?
Oh, how dare you, love?
No, he wouldn't.
Gonna put his fingertips on the TV screen, Phil.
What?
Put his fingertips on the TV screen.
Well, but he's kind of colorblind, so.
Oh.
They could have at least hooked him up with a green tie. I just feel like he would have had at least a green tie. Well, he's got a girlfriend now, but I think he at least been out picking up some chicks with a pint of Guinness. Something.
That's true. We didn't have any marriage counseling this episode.
No, nothing. The Matt's the only one from the main cast we saw this episode.
The gang is really bothering me though. Like I
feel
like I'm missing something because they made a big deal about him being Irish but Protestant. So I don't know.
I feel like either it's Vanessa or someone else trying to bring Kingpin back into the game.
And
I don't feel like we're going to get follow up.
We can literally throw this episode away. Let's hope not.
Yeah, because that's what we were saying. Like the White Tiger episode the trial of the White Tiger was good too, but that was almost felt like a filler episode too. So it's like,
especially since he didn't get into the suit immediately after.
That's true. Yeah, and again, they teased us last episode with he was staring at those suits in his rooftop closet, but then nothing this episode.
Well, we haven't seen episode 6, so we'll
That's
be talking
true.
about that tomorrow.
That's
Maybe it all connects.
Super connected.
But,
you
I'll
can't
be
be afraid to
watching
make a long episode, though. I feel like, especially when you're on a streamer, like time doesn't exist when you're a streamer.
Yeah, I think. Oh God, with the finale, but I still don't think it goes over an hour. Hold on, I have it right here.
Let's put our budget to use, man.
Yeah, the last episode, the season finale will be 57 minutes. That's the longest one now.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, the rest of the episodes, it looks like they're at least 40 some minutes. So.
Okay. So maybe this was kind of their bottle episode where they were kind of shaving the edges for some budget reasons or something then.
I think they were maybe doing mini arcs, like the first 4 episodes were a mini arc, and then 6 through 9 are going to be a mini arc.
Well, I'm getting blue balls. There's no conclusion, no climax here. So
okay,
can't
Matt.
call it an arc if you don't have a climax, Phil. Sorry.
Okay, Matt.
Just saying. I need some payoff or resolution here. Quickly.
Well, that's exactly it. I feel like, well, where's my payoff?
Yeah, what about that man in the cage? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You left us hanging with no man. What's up with the man in the cage? What's up with all the helmets and Muse? But no, we're just going to go to the bank this episode and not let you not get a loan.
Oh yeah.
I
think that was just an excuse to get him in the bank, but
of course,
and have some butterscotch.
Could at least been Werther's product placement.
But yeah, again, that last episode. What about the guy in the cage? Did Kingpin have dessert with him? Let us know.
Just dessert, some would say.
And maybe it was a butterscotch.
Oh. I feel like it was something very dry because he probably hasn't given him water or anything.
Gave him a Popeye's biscuit. That's total torture. Nothing to drink behind it.
I like Popeye's biscuits.
If you have something to drink with it, it's fine.
I like a Popeye. I like to. I make an egg sandwich with it the next morning. I don't eat it with my chicken. I save it and warm it up and cut it in half and put some ham and cheese and egg on it.
Oh man, I gotta go to Popeye. I haven't been to Popeyes in years. I'm gonna have to go this week.
I go at least like once every 6 months. Oh, Salty and Petty episode.
There you go. All right, should we cut that there? Because yes, we do have. Again, kids, but come back at either the YouTube or the podcast. Yeah, we'll be talking tomorrow. Born Again episode 6.
At 8, yes.
Yes, at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. Yes. So, and you can watch us live on our Facebook. The Capes and Lunatics Facebook page. So
payoff imminent? Question mark.
You never know.
All right. So please send us your thoughts. CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Especially if you want to get your thoughts on this episode. And because again, we will be recording 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So, or if you hear this on the podcast tonight.
Yeah, if they send in questions, I'll happily answer any questions anybody sends you.
Yeah, come on.
Exactly. Go to Marvel.
Ray, Justin, Russell.
We got a comic book creator here asking questions. But Dan did send me a quick thought on episode 4. He said he thought 4 had some better moments. Punisher and the guy in the prison was spot on. He said so.
Spot on.
Yes. Yeah. Oh. That Dan Chichester, man. If they're not them puns, you ain't probably even try. All right. Greg, again, I know you have 20 secret projects you can't discuss. Was there anything you want to promote?
Well, I'm still working on Graham Nolan's, Escape from Monster Island. And I just started, I was coloring some lava on that. So.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. Fun stuff.
Hey, Lilith, this will hit tomorrow. So do you want to promote your appearance?
Just put it in the show notes.
Okay. All right, everyone. Yes. Thank you for joining us again tomorrow. Again, another doubleheader week. This will be the last one this season. So yes. Tomorrow, episode 6. And I would look to see if the title was Excessive Force.
Oh, we're going to be dealing with cops, hopefully.
Well, maybe the Punisher?
Or maybe the outfit finally comes back. It would be funny if he showed up in the black armor. That would be just hilarious.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm taking a picture of my TV. I'm sending it right to Dan. Be like, look.
Well, because they're bringing it back in the regular Daredevil comic right now.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, oh, look at that.
They're tweaking that suit somehow, because I think that I saw an interview with Charlie Cox, and they're like, "Oh, could we see like more than one version of the suit?" And he was like, "More, one of this, maybe,
I'll take the yellow suit, thank you.
I hated that suit. The one that he wore in She-Hulk.
Oh yeah. All right. Maybe
wasn't it like yellow and purple?
It was something. Yellow and black or something. Yeah. All right, kids. Come back next time. Remember, it's better to be with the devil you know than the devil you don't. Black armor will be worth the wait.